Coming up on First at 4, a rust-colored creek had several people worried in Pike County during the weekend. We'll tell you why it was orange just ahead. And the big changes to your driver's license are almost here. We'll have a preview.
Temperatures tied record lows across the mountains this morning, and we have another night of some pretty cold weather on tap. Your complete forecast is coming up. First at 4 is next.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, some big changes to Kentucky's driver's license program are almost here. The Real ID Act requires changes to driver's licenses, and Kentucky only has a little more than a year to get in compliance. Victor Puente talked to Fayette County Circuit Court clerk about when we should see those changes.
Franklin and Woodford counties are set to be the first two counties in Kentucky getting those new driver's licenses. The circuit clerk here in Fayette County tells me Lexington might be soon after.
I suspect that Fayette County will probably be the end of April, but look at drive.ky.gov for updates. But right now we're on schedule for those dates.
Those new IDs will bring Kentucky into compliance with the Real ID Act, which was passed in 2005. Kentucky's been getting extensions, but the last one will run out in October of 2020. Under the new system, Kentuckians will have their choice of two different IDs, a standard one that allows you to drive and vote, and a voluntary travel ID that will allow you to fly out of airports and go into restricted federal facilities. A big change for drivers will be the amount of documents required to get that travel ID, as well as an 8-year option.
You do not want the voluntary travel ID, then the basic requirements will stand as they always have in the past.
The rollout is expected to be finished statewide by the end of June. But if you have a current license, you don't need to run out and make the change the very first day they're introduced.
Those that have renewed their license this year and that are renewing up until the implementation date between April and June, your current driver's license in your pocket right now is good until October 1st of 2020.
Victor Puente, WYMT Mountain News.
Riggs says if you have gotten a license this year, there will only be a $15 upgrade charge once the new system is put in place.
Definitely a cool start to the morning across the mountains, and we really didn't warm up too much, only into the 40s right now. Although if you look outside, you're going to see plenty of sunshine, just a few passing clouds. Here's a look from our weather cam up on US 119 and 23 in Jenkins, and you can see plenty of sunshine up there. No travel problems whatsoever. Pinpoint Doppler scanning the skies across eastern Kentucky. Not much to talk about today. Nice and dry, and we will enjoy the dry, albeit cool weather. Let's take a look at those current temperatures. 48 in London, Somerset, Jackson, and Hazard. 45 in Wise. A local warm spot right now. 51 down in Middlesboro. But we've only seen those temperatures climb about 25 degrees today. In fact, that low of Jackson of 24 tied a record set back in 1987. So a very cool start to the morning. We saw plenty of frost and a little bit of a hard freeze this morning, and we could see one again tonight in the Kentucky River Valley and Big Sandy River valleys as temperatures are expected to drop below freezing. So be sure to take steps to protect that tender vegetation. But if you're tired of the cooler weather, I've got a little bit of good news for you. Warmer weather's on the way, and we'll tell you when that is coming in my main forecast here in a few minutes.
All right, Shane, thank you. Well, some people who live in the Kemper community of Pike County noticed something strange about their creeks and streams on Saturday. The water looked orange. WYMT's Marianne Fletcher talked with officials to learn what caused the change.
People who live in the Kemper community of Pike County tell me this is not their first time seeing water like this.
And checking into it, found it was coming from Lane Branch, which is just up above the intersection of 194 and 632.
Pike County Emergency Management Director Doug Tackett says employees of a nearby coal company cleaned out old ponds, causing the chemicals to mix with the nearby creeks and streams.
I don't know if they'd released it or just gotten this stuff into the water.
For 72 years, Bobby Spears has lived in this area.
Well, we're used to it. We take it for granted anymore.
He says it's not uncommon to see the water this color.
We see it red, we don't pay too much attention to it.
Tackett says state officials are taking water samples and they should know what the chemicals are by the end of the week.
We report them to the state, they investigate them, and they cite whoever they need to, take whatever actions necessary.
Neighbors tell me they hope to see a permanent change. In Pike County, Marianne Fletcher, WYMT Mountain News.
If you notice a change in the color of your nearby streams, you can call the Kentucky Emergency Response Commission at 1-800-255-2587. Well, are you heading south for spring break? We have a traffic alert you need to know about. Chattanooga police in Tennessee say I-75 north at the I-24 west split is closed to traffic after this happened. A railing from a bridge collapsed into the roadway this morning. Drivers will need to use an alternate route until the roadway is clear. We do not know when that will happen. One vehicle was damaged and there was one non-life-threatening injury. A mistake so many of us have made led to the killing of a South Carolina college student. She got in the wrong car, apparently mistaking it for the Uber ride she had called. 21-year-old Samantha Josephson was last seen Friday morning after a night out with friends. Police say she got into the wrong car when she called for an Uber. Later that day, hunters found her body more than 65 miles away in a remote wooded area.
The child safety locks were activated on the door that would not allow someone to the means of escape.
Police arrested 24-year-old Nathaniel Rowland after spotting him driving the same type of car Josephson got into. Police say officers found window cleaner, bleach, and Josephson's phone in the car. Court documents reveal Josephson had numerous wounds on her body. Rowland is charged with murder and kidnapping. Community leaders and fans are remembering Grammy-nominated rapper Nipsey Hussle as a philanthropist and legend in his Los Angeles neighborhood. African-American leaders in L.A. are demanding the person who shot and killed Hussle to surrender to police. A shooter opened fire outside the rapper's South Los Angeles clothing store yesterday afternoon, killing Hussle and injuring two others before leaving in a waiting car. Hussle's devastated fans came to the crime scene today to leave candles and remember the artist.
I'm heartbroken. Nipsey Hussle was a big influence in the community. He had a very positive message, and just shocked and disbelief.
Police still have not identified a motive in the shooting. Authorities say a 14-year-old is in custody after he shot another student at a high school in Arkansas. Prescott police say the shooting happened this morning in a hallway at Prescott High School. The school district posted on its Facebook page that a student brought a concealed handgun on campus and specifically targeted the other student. The district says it appeared to be a premeditated attack.
It was a student-upon-student incident. Both individuals were in the 8th grade, 14 years old. We had one shooter and one victim at this point in time.
The injured 14-year-old was flown to the hospital. No word on the victim's condition or the exact injuries they suffered. The school went into lockdown after the shooting. According to the district, classes will resume tomorrow and counselors will be available for students who may need them. The Trump administration says President Trump's threat to shut down the border with Mexico is no bluff. Last month, more than 75,000 people were apprehended, the highest number in more than a decade. The president blamed Mexico and other Central American countries for not stopping caravans of migrants moving toward the U.S. border. The State Department cut off U.S. aid to El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras Saturday. The decision, Democrats say, could worsen the humanitarian crisis.
The president's cutting off aid to these countries will not solve that problem.
Many business owners along the border are concerned that it could also hurt their business and the consumers themselves. House Democrats are moving ahead with plans to authorize a subpoena to get Robert Mueller's full unredacted report. Chairman Jerry Nadler says a vote is planned for Wednesday. That is a day after tomorrow's deadline Democrats set for Attorney General William Barr to provide the full report. A subpoena could set up a showdown between the Trump administration and congressional Democrats. An organization in our region is training the next generation of skilled workers. You'll learn more about it tonight on Issues and Answers. eCami trains people in monitoring and programming CNC machines. Those are computer numerical control machines that produce parts from metal for a variety of industries. Located in Paintsville, the institute is already getting the attention of potential employers.
eCammy has already had companies looking at the area to locate here, to expand their operations here.
We give everyone all the tools they need to succeed. The only thing they have to bring is the motivation and a good attitude.
Since the institute began, including this graduating class, 60 people have gone through the program with a 100% job placement rate. You can watch Issues and Answers tonight at 7 on WYMT. Set over to Wall Street now on this Monday afternoon. The Dow closes up today more than 329 points, so a great start to the week on Wall Street. Straight ahead on First at 4, if the governor of Georgia signs an anti-abortion bill, it will become one of the most restrictive laws in the country.
Another cold night on tap across the mountains, but hang in there, friends. Warmer weather's on the way. We'll talk about that next.